Semantic universals. The concept of female, male, water, fire exists in all languages. All languages have a means of referring to the past. Now, not all languages have past tenses and future tenses in their verbs. I have a niece studying Spanish right now, and I'm trying to help her, but I never got far enough in studying Spanish to learn how to speak in anything but the present tense. So when I'm speaking to someone in Spanish, I have to use other words to tell them if I mean now, yesterday, or tomorrow. And I think that's pretty interesting. Now I can do that without knowing how to change the verbs, right? So in English, for example, we would say, I'm going to the store, right? We're using the verb go, but we change it. Going means present tense. It's happening right now. If I'm talking about yesterday, I would say I went to the store, and then we can also use going in future tense to like, I'm going to the store, and then we qualify it by saying tomorrow, next week, next month. So if I was speaking in Spanish, I believe go is va. And I know it changes depending on how many people are going. If one person's going, it's va. If we're all going, it's vamos, I believe. If I have a Spanish speaker, you're welcome to correct me. But I don't know how to say I went yesterday or I'm going tomorrow in Spanish. Do I have any Spanish speakers that could tell me how to say that?
How to say what?
That I went yesterday and I'm going tomorrow? Because I only know the present tense va of go in Spanish.
Ya me voy.
Ya me voy, what does that mean?
I already went.
I already went. Ya me voy. And well, how do you say I'm going, like tomorrow?
That one I forgot. I don't speak Spanish very often.
Any other Spanish speakers in here? And I don't know, and with other languages, I thought Chinese only had present tense, so I'm finding this interesting. Do I have any Chinese speakers in the class? I'm going to have to research this some more. So often if you hear like a Chinese person that was a native born Chinese speaker and they've learned English, they'll often speak like, I go store now, I go store yesterday, I go store tomorrow. But that's how I'm sure I sound to a native Spanish speaker when I'm trying to communicate, since I don't understand the verb structure in Spanish like I do in English. And believe me, I don't understand it intellectually or academically. I only know it because I'm a native English speaker and certain things don't sound right to my ear. And so much of language is simply learned by growing up within a community and learning by osmosis, literally just hearing it and it connecting and making sense to you. And that's part of why it's more difficult to learn languages as you get older, because we kind of get like hardwired or in a groove of a certain way of thinking in languages in our minds. Like those of you who've tried to learn another language, for probably the first year or so, or a couple semesters, you're having to translate everything from one language into your native language. And then when you want to respond, you think of it in your native language, and then you have to figure out how to translate it into the other language. Once someone becomes fluent, they don't have to go through that two-step process. They can converse and even begin to think, even, yes, perchance dream in another language. And that's when I think you know you're getting fluent, is when you're actually thinking in another language. And this is the philosophical side that's really interesting to me, because some of the theories out there are suggesting that even the words we use to think are going to affect our worldview and our perception of reality. And I think there's a lot of value to that theory. Okay, speakers of all languages are capable of producing and comprehending an infinite set of sentences. And this is linguistic creativity. And much of it's spontaneous, like the words coming out of my mouth right now. I'm just making them up as I'm going along. I don't have a set or prepared script like this worksheet, but I'm just communicating with you, and I'm so adept at the English language, I can just keep generating new words, new sentences, new phrases in an infinite amount of varieties. Any normal child born anywhere in the world is capable of learning any language or languages to which they are exposed. All right, so that was the first sheet on that. And now let me see if I can pull up the other side.